Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm the Sussex Smuggler. I'm Captain James Bollinger, and well, it's been a while, hasn't it? It's been since about August since I went on a live stream. As you can see, a different setup this evening than to what we were probably used to. A lot of reasons for that. One being the sound issue I was having on a product called StreamYard that I was using. So I decided I've changed all the mics, upgraded all the internet, still didn't cure it. Excuse excuse me, sorry. Autumn might be catching up with me at last. Beg your pardon, yeah. So changed all the mics around, couldn't get to the bottom of it. So I thought, right, I'll do one last recording using StreamYard, and then I'm going to have to get rid of it. So I found Restream. So far, on a lot of the practice that I've done, I haven't had any sound issues. So hopefully, I've even changed my mics as well. So let's just see how this show goes. All the connections are good so far, and Restream's a bit cheaper for me, and it gives you a split screen. The only sad thing is it doesn't play music in the background, or it does, but it has to be their music, not yours. So we're trying to use an intro video with the Reaver's Gallows Privateers Defeat on, and an outro video to feature the music on as well. But look, welcome back. Great to see you. Hello to you that watch me on the replay. It's fantastic to have you on board, and thanks to all the subscribers that follow the channel, the Sussex Smuggler. As you can see, I'm Captain James Bollinger. That's featured down there at the bottom on this new screen in a different format. All the other bits and bobs are there. Things I want to update you on really is I've set up a like page on Facebook, and obviously the blog is still up and running. There's some new additions there on the historical land guard, the riding officers, and their surveyor generals. I mean, I've done a bit of a piece on John Collier and his riding officers, and Warren Lyle of Weymouth, another surveyor general, and surveyor general of the sloops, I believe his title was, and 3 times mayor of Lyme Regis. Similar sort of character to John Collier. So all good. Have a read of that. That's on the blog, the sussexsmuggler.co.uk. Some pictures, some photos, and some funny tales on there from Mark Vine, who I met on holiday. So really, he told me a story about a particular riding officer that hid up a chimney, and I went away and researched it and found the story. So have a read of that there. I'm not going to ruin that for you, but the Facebook, the Sussex Smuggler page, please like that, because this broadcast will go out on the page as well. So the idea was just to have another platform to broadcast on, but I can actually upload photographs on there, whereas on the blog it doesn't really cope with them too well. It's more about literacy and illustrations and photos, whereas on a Facebook page you can upload the whole lot. I mean, I take lots of photographs of where I visit and historical points, and some of them haven't had justice in the last 6 months or so. So I thought I'll set up a Facebook page, and you can have a look at that yourselves. And what I'll do is, as time goes on, I'll try and get around to filling in some of the captions. Some I've done already. I've uploaded the Dog and Partridge Inn, or the former Dog and Partridge Inn, which was the crime scene of the murder of Richard Hawkins in 1748 by some of the members of the Hawkhurst gang. So I've uploaded that. That's in Slindon Common, by the way, in West Sussex. So have a look at that. The roof has changed on it, and some of the outbuildings and connecting buildings have gone and probably fallen down, but it now has a roof that is a clay roof, not a thatched one. And that was this weekend. We ventured out and found that because there's a bit of a crossover, a bit of myth, I suppose, with the murder of Richard Hawkins at the Black Dog in Weymouth, which just simply didn't happen. It was at the Dog and Partridge in Slindon, with the body being found 9 months later, a few miles up the road, up in Parham House, which is, of course, Sir Cecil Bishop, his property, who was an MP in the area, and um, a local rival to John Collier. And if you go on to read the blog as well, you'll see that there's a bit of a vested interest in the smugglers himself by way of marriage and whatnot. But yeah, so there's lots of pictures up there. There's Old Hastings. I haven't quite completed that. Have a look at the St Clement's Church photographs. They're pretty good. See if you can see the cannonball in the church tower that was fired by the French. I think they were French pirates and Dutch pirates that fired a cannonball into the church tower of St Clement's in Hastings. So I basically done them in two parts, not quite complete by any stretch of the imagination. The old town of Hastings, because there's the All Saints Road area that I haven't done yet, but the ones I have done so far can be viewed on the like page as John Collier's Walk to Church, and I believe John Collier's Walk to the Tavern. So have a look at those, some lovely buildings and roads, and I've managed to find John Collier's former residence, Old Hastings House in Hastings as well. I mean, I love Hastings. I know there's a bad district to it, or not a bad district. It's just lots of modern shops and people around, but you've got to love Hastings. There's some charm about it. I don't know what it is. I just can't stay away from the place, and that's before I even get to St Leonard's. But yeah, have a look around that. I've also uploaded today a few shots from inside and outside the Brighton Pavilion, which is the Prince Regent, his country estate in Brighton that he was carrying, which was a bit of a carry-on place down there. I mean, the impression I've got, it was nothing like his father, King George III. He was a bit of a pig of a man. So yeah, there's that to look at. Some great pictures in there, and I've put some short videos up on YouTube and reels up as well, my Facebook profile. But no, some really good stuff. So yeah, some great photos have gone up. So have a root around on that. Please like or follow, whatever's easiest for you. That would be great. Really much appreciate it. But excuse me, I'm gonna wet me whistle a bit. Cup of tea. It's a school night after all. Yeah, well, this stream, it's been my first, I think, since August, but I have done 3 vlogs when I was on holiday in Portland that have been shared up, and I hope you've enjoyed it. There are various walks plotted out from a book called The Mysterious Portland by Gary Biltcliffe. And they're in the back of the book. There's about 5 or 6 different walks. I managed to do 3 of them because you're on holiday. You've got to have a bit of a rest, haven't you? And so yeah, I've done a couple of them, filmed them. Some points of interest. Do have a look at those. They're pretty good. I really enjoyed doing that actually. And of course, it's now getting to that time of year. I've got the banyan on, and what I might do is a vlog with all my 18th century clothes with the help of Cyril, my mannequin, and show you what I've got and what a banyan is, and all the rest of it. I mean, it's I've got 2 and a matching cap, a thinking cap or a lounge cap, as you might want to call them, and that keeps you seriously warm. When you've got your you come in and you take your overcoat off and you still got your trousers and a shirt or t-shirt on, or as I've got an 18th century shirt, it keeps you seriously cosy and warm. I know you've got a lined one with woolen fleece through it as well, which keeps you really warm But yeah, this is basically me now getting down, hunkering down for autumn and winter. And I'll probably get some more candles on the go as well, um, for some terrific lighting, and they do generate warmth as well. Of course, I do have central heating, but I'm not here in the studio that much. So yeah, I'll just take that away. There we go, and got that there. Let's have a look. Um, what have I done? That's the one I want. We'll put that back up. There we go. Okay. No, the main reason, as I said, for this stream is really when I was in Weymouth, or when we were in Weymouth, down a road called, I believe it's Park Street. I've got my notes in front of me. So if I lose my thread, I'll just pop my spectacles on and I'll start reading off my notes. Down Park Street in Weymouth is a wonderful bookshop called Books Afloat, and it's a very traditional bookshop in as much as that you won't find it online. You'll find it on Google Maps, but that's about it because the gentleman that runs it, John, he runs it like a traditional old bookstore. And it's a little bit more than just a bookstore because there's some interesting artifacts in there. And I'm not going to ruin it for you, but there's some brilliant local books, authors, and stuff, articles laying around that you can purchase or even look at. Some great novels in there, and a lot of other things. Take cash because no electronic payment whatsoever. It's very traditional. It's a great shop. I really enjoyed it. We went there twice for a browse, and I picked up this booklet for a couple of quid. I'll show it to you. I'm sure which camera will pick up on best. That one. And it's a booklet that's been put together by, collated by friends of St Andrew's Avalanche Memorial Church, Southwell, Portland, Dorset. And me and Portland have bit of a history together to share. In as much as that it's actually my childhood holiday home. Or it was we didn't actually own, I didn't really own property down, but I had relatives that did. And they owned a couple of shops and storage sites in Fortune as well, and up on the top hill somewhere where they kept all the HGV lorries and most of their little fleet that they had. I mean, you do a lot of the most of the money now was like a Luton style van, box van that delivered furniture and house clearances and stuff like that. But I believe the main shop, I've been up there a couple of times, it looks like it's an old, from memory, bear in mind I was about 7 or 8 or whatever, some time ago now, it's about 43 years back now, possibly could have been some sort of stables. I'm not quite sure. I mean, it'd be great if someone could email in and let me know. But it's up in Fortunes on High Street where the wall boxes, the GR boxes, which is probably a replacement for the original VR box back in the day. And what their main business was to move the Royal Navy around Britain, the crews and the staff that worked on the bases on Portland. And that was my working holiday, basically. So this particular church, every day I was down there, I'd drive by and wouldn't know anything about it. And I dare say most of the adults didn't know anything about Portland, which is quite ironic, really. And not until now that I've started delving into a bit of local history across the south coast that things are starting to make sense and come up. A lot of things, as I mentioned earlier, some of them, not everything, has been mentioned in the blog or the blog stuff up on the channel. So, very much enjoy doing all that. It's all kind of making sense now. But this booklet, this story, is a tragic story of a shipping disaster that happened in 1877 on the 11th of September. And really a bit of a taster in terms of the story, and I hope you can hunt down this book or do your own research and find out what happened. So I understand from the booklet that's been put together by the church that some 63 souls were lost on the 11th of September 1877. Now, just looking at my notes, so excuse me if I take eye contact away from you. Yes, it is a tragic story of two ships that collided some 12 miles off of Portland Bill. The Avalanche weighed in at 1,600 tons. It's built of iron, and it was a clipper, and it was carrying some goods up to the value of around £100,000. It's claimed, and its destination was Winnagoon, New Zealand. I hope I pronounced that right. And it was carrying some passengers around, mostly New Zealand emigrants and colonists, as it says in the book, or I would call them residents nowadays, returning them home after a stay in London. So they left the port of London on the 8th of September, and they were making their way through the Channel, which was whipping up a gale force of something like 8. Well, actually, I should really put this up, give you an idea. I managed to find a picture. Let's have a look of the Avalanche. Have a look here. Should get this on your screen any minute now. Bear with me. Yeah. Beautiful ship. 1,600 tons. Excuse me whilst I disappear. Here she is. Look at that. There she is. Let's give you the full screen experience. Let's try that. No, I think that's the best I can do. Is that one? That's the Avalanche. I'm not sure where that picture's taken, but that gives you an idea. It's a clipper that was going around to Winnago. Let's have a look. Let me just check that. I'm sure it was a Winnago. Let's have a look. Oh, sorry, Wanganoo. That's it, Wanganoo. Wanganoo, New Zealand, and we'll get back to the story in a minute. So it left London on the 8th of September. There's a force 8 gale, southwesterly gale that's picking up through the Channel off Portland Bill. The very next day, on the 9th of September, the Forest, a Canadian ship, left London, and it was high in the water because it only had its ballast on board, and that was making its way destination for Canada. And because I'm going to get a bit technical now, I'm going to try, because they're going into the wind down the Channel. Ships captains and ships have to make a manoeuvre called tacking into the wind, and the way I understand it, don't hold me to this, please. I'm looking at two cameras. It's a form of zigzag manoeuvre that you do. The VOC Amsterdam was doing a similar manoeuvre into the wind in 1749, and basically it's a zigzag. So you do a left line, then you tack right for a distance, then a left for a distance, and so on and so forth. Anyway, the Forest weighed in at 1,400 tons, and it was called the Forest apparently because it took up a whole forest to make. It was a wooden ship with an iron keel. So you're starting to get the picture now, aren't you? You've got two very heavy ships making their way through the Channel, which probably would ordinarily be okay. And but it was at night that they made contact with one another through they call them dickering lamps, whatever that means. I don't know. But we'll just stick to the simply their lamps. One lamp being green and one being red. I suppose a bit like signals on trains. I don't know, I hazard a guess. And the Avalanche was in front, I believe, and the Forest was coming up behind. I'm not sure. This is where I get a bit confused. But anyway, what happens is they lose contact with one another's lanterns and lights, and before they know it, the lights go out, and let me just take that away. Hang on, bear with me. So they lose contact with one another's lights, and before they know it, the forest has the only way I can describe it from reading is you've got the avalanche is sailing like that, and the forest has hit it broadside like that with its its bows, so it's sliced into it, and it bounced off of it apparently, and it's done it again, and it's gouged the side of the amidships, the broadside of the Avalanche. They're in rough seas. I think some 3 crew members made a jump onto the forest, and the rest of the ship within seconds went down with about 63 people on board, crew, women, children, passengers, everything. There wasn't time to launch any lifeboats. There wasn't time to do anything. So the 3 survivors were hanging on to the forest for their dear lives in this storm. On what part of the forest they were hanging on to, I don't know, but they're hanging on for their dear lives. They launched then the lifeboats for the forest, and they've made then for Chesil Beach. The Avalanche by this time has gone. It's sunk. There's 63 lives on board. And let's have a look see if we've got any other illustrations or to share with you. Just try and paint the picture. Oh, I don't think I have got one, but I won't share it just yet. And so as night has passed, a fisherman has got up for work, and he's gone to look at Chesil Beach. His name's Thomas Pitt, and he's found a body the next day in a smashed boat. We're worth mentioning, by the way, 6 bodies were retrieved. 1 was identified, and they're all buried together up at St George's Church on Portland. You can find the graves. I mean, I found I was on Portland during Christmas last year, and if I'd have known about this, I'd have made more of a beeline for the graves themselves. But they're buried up there apparently. And on board so getting back to Thomas Pitt, he's found these 6 bodies and raised the alarm with the local Portland fishermen that have a specialist rowing boat called a Lorette, which I'll let you go and find and research yourself. I do have a picture of one. I may have even put it on the Sussex Smuggler Facebook page. I can't quite remember, but they're basically to me they strike me as like looking like a very small looking Viking longboat, because both ends are tapered unusually, and that's for launching and landing on Chesil Beach. And for those of you that don't know Chesil Beach, or Dead Man's Bay as it's sometimes called, certainly was labelled by Thomas Hardy as Dead Man's Bay. It's a high shingle bank 17 miles long. So turning back to the crews that are out in the bay looking to come in and land, fortunately there was a local man from Bridport, I believe, that was on there on one of the life dinghies, and he advised everybody not to land because of the danger of Chesil Beach. And what happened was the fishermen in their Lorette boats, a specialist boat, came out and took them in and rescued them, thankfully. And the wet me whistle if you don't mind. Very tragic event. So they landed them, and there was a process of landing these Lorettes very quickly using cables before the breakwater can come in. Because I don't know if you've ever seen it down there on Chesil Beach in winter. I mean, I've got some films of it. It is just it's a force of nature. You're not gonna win. And Selwyn Williams describes it in his book, The Golden Grape, that it's like a tumble dryer or a washing machine that spins water and pebbles all together, so it'd suck you back out. And that's what the Portland fishermen were trying to avoid, was that. They even have launch crews that use cables as well, because it's that deadly down there in the middle of winter. And I mean, I know people that swim in it and dive in it, but you've got to respect that stretch of water. I must admit. So that's what happens. They land the remainder of the crew. I think there's only about 6 of them from both the Forest and because there was 3 boats landed from the Forest, um, and they survived. But the uh, the Forest, and there's an illustration here coming up on your screens, was a danger to shipping. It was waterlogged, didn't sink at all. It was high out of the water. It didn't have any cargo or anything on it. And it was a bit of a shipping hazard. So they tried to blow it up. And if you look at the illustration there, you can see that there's some men scrambling over the keel by the looks of it, trying to plant gunpowder on it to try and blow it up to sink it. I believe they were unsuccessful, and the Royal Navy had to tow it out to sea and do the job properly. But what happened was, in memorial of that, was let me just take that away. Hold on a minute. Good illustration, that actually. There we go. I should be back now. So what they did, they a fundraiser went out across the world, and as the booklet says, they built the Avalanche Church St Andrews in the village of Southwell in Portland as a memorial. The rest of the information is contained in the book. There's some pottery items that have been recovered by some very skillful divers in 1984 from the wreck. Obviously, I mean, these wrecking divers are fantastic. I mean, it would be great to talk to them, what they could tell you, and they know where all the wrecks are, but they have to keep it a secret for a lot of reasons. So the church is built and the memorial made to all the people that drowned. There is a headstone at St George's Churchyard marking those that were lost. And I believe a model was built by one of the inmates at the model of the Avalanche. That was built by an inmate from the HMP prison, the Verne. I believe it was the Verne, because there's 2 prisons on Portland. It might have been the Grove. Should have made a note of that, really. But it's all contained within the church. Sadly, it's something I didn't get round to doing because I bought the booklet after towards the end of the holiday, and I didn't read about it until I got back. So yeah, that's the story of the Avalanche and Forest, a complete tragedy in wrecking of 2 sailing ships with people with aspirations of starting a new life and going home to New Zealand. So yeah, check that one out if you can. I mean, I picked up the booklet for a couple of quid at Books Afloat in Park Street, as I said earlier, in Weymouth, a fantastic shop. Even if you buy nothing, to be honest with you, worth a look. It really is an absolute museum. I can't credit it enough, and you're not going to find it online because it's just not that kind of place. Anyway, on a more lighter note, if you didn't know, or if you're not doing anything this weekend and you're near Weymouth, or you can get to Weymouth, is their annual Pirate Festival. I'm going to put the flyer up again for you to have a look at. And it should be coming up on your screens right now. It should be. There we go. That should be with you right now. There it is. There's all the information you need to know. Well, I probably need to update that, but there's the map. Hardy's Hop House in Weymouth, St Thomas's Street, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 6th, 7th and 8th. You'll find it all online. If you've got any difficulty finding any information, you know the score. Email me, I'll get back to you with the information, or I'll point you in the right direction. So I'll be there this year. Really looking forward to it. Last year was an absolute blast. I'm sure this year will be a blast too. And also at the same time, there's a cider and beer festival going on in the town as well. So there's going to be a right load of shenanigans going on. Some live music, a pirates parade, and God knows what else. But come down, enjoy yourself. It's normally a great crack. There's no, come as a pirate, get a cheap tricorn, stick it on your head, come down and enjoy yourself. You'll meet some wonderful people. I'll be there. Hopefully getting there Friday evening at some point. I hope the traffic's kind. And another event in Eastbourne that we go to, that we also enjoy, is we went last year, and it's a terrific atmosphere. And we do we like going to comic cons, and we particularly like going to local ones that don't have much of a budget, or they don't cost too much to get in. And we're going to be going to, there we go, Wintercon in Eastbourne the following weekend. Tickets are cheap. It's a charity organisation. Some wonderful people there, very friendly. You'll get lots of photographs done. It's just a terrific event to support in the old Winter Gardens. There was a beautiful Victorian building, and downstairs is where the games room is, creative area. And you'll see all sorts of things there. Doctor Who. Let me think. Last year, Doctor Who, pirates were there, steampunks were there, Star Wars characters, Jawas. The DeLorean from Back to the Future was there. I believe the Ghostbuster. I don't know what it's called. Station wagon. That's it. Will be there. It's a fantastic event. Honestly, really friendly, local. I even met John Wick. I'm looking forward to seeing if he's there again this year. Yeah, it's all good. It's good family fun, and we go. We all go, and we all enjoy it. And yeah, great atmosphere, brilliant stuff, absolutely wonderful. So look, that's probably pretty much everything from me this evening. So look, thank you for tuning in. I'll try and get another stream up and running again soon. It's been great having you. And please like, comment, and subscribe. Always helps. And then you know when I'm going to be vlogging or going live streaming or what have you. So it's been, as I said, it's been terrific having you on board again. And enjoy the weather. Get to Weymouth or get to Eastbourne or both. It'd be terrific. And basically, it's a good night from him and a good night from him. I've always wanted to do that. I'll just play you out, hopefully, if this all works nicely on this. And I'll bid you a farewell and see you soon. Take care now. Bye.